You look great. Hey, everybody, it's Rob Kosberg here with Bestseller Publishing. I'm super excited to be doing this video with past client and really dear friend, Linda Liberatore. She's the CEO of SecurePay1.com. And we had the great honor of helping Linda do her latest book, which My Landlord Helper, fantastic book that you've been using. We happened to be on the telephone the other day, and you were telling me about a lot of the cool things that have been happening. And I was like, oh, please, let's get on a call. Let's talk about it because people can learn from it. And maybe the start of it, which you just reminded me and mentioned to me, was you heard me. I was doing a podcast because of my book and our business at Bestseller Publishing. And you happened to hear me on a podcast and like sought me out. You were like, you know, I've got to do a book and I want to do a book with this guy. And of course, there was no selling involved. You heard me, you knew what you wanted, and that's kind of what we want to do, right? I mean, we want to create authority and get in front of people on platforms, and then the magic happens, right?
Absolutely. If you're asking me, you're right. I 100%, I sought you out. I was actually doing some interviewing at the time, really for real estate investors. And I said, I have to have this man. I really mean that. That's what my mindset was. Like, I have to have this man to interview because I think what he offers is really valuable. Yeah. And then I said, could you do that for me?
I remember. I remember. And we hit it off immediately. I mean, you have you have a really, really cool story. You've done some amazing things in business, and more recently, you've done some really cool things with your book. And so, you know, what we do at Bestseller Publishing, we get the book done, right? And we want it to be professional and amazing, but that's not where the story ends, right? That's where the story begins. And so, you know, we do the book launch and PR, get clients on radio, TV, but you took it really higher from there. So can you maybe share a little bit about that?
Yeah, and if I could go back just a little bit, I have to say your process is absolutely awesome. So let's start from there.
Okay, thank you.
I had done it once on my own, shortly before I came to you and heard your podcast, and I can't tell you how painful it was. So, yeah. You know, God willing, everybody that wants to do that, great, but there's a much easier way. And you guys just really made that process seamless, and it was just wonderful from the very first person I met after we talked, and, you know, you handed me off to the different prep pieces. Everybody was awesome and cooperative and helpful, and, you know, tried to accommodate my schedule, because I'm sure everybody that does this has tough schedules, you know. No doubt. I'm not alone. So yeah. That was, you know, really good. Then, like you said, an added bonus is the fact that then you got us out there, or me in my case, for PR, and it was great. I mean, because she really helped me, because I would say I learned something through that process. It's not just the fact that you have a book is not why people want you on TV. You know, you're not some famous author, so you're not going to get on the news just because you wrote a book. So now you have to have a topic that somebody would want to feature on the news, related to your book, of course, but the book just, validates that you're an expert, because otherwise, why are they going to bring in Linda Liberatore? Who cares what she thinks? You know, well, people would care because I had a book. Right. And so I found that out, and that was, you know, a learning experience. And then she helped me decide on a cool topic that was something of interest, and quickly filled my schedule. I mean, and I do mean that quickly. She had, you know, like 4 interviews lined up within like a week. You know, I already had the summer, let's say, booked. Nice. I mean, to timeline it for people, this all happened within, you know, not even 6 months. So, and then from there, you know, I would say, ironically enough, as we were talking, is then you go right into podcasts, which is now people call me, because they're just like I called you. Yeah. Say, I heard you on this podcast. What could you do for us? You know, how could you help us? Yeah. So
the cool thing you do, we talked about so many neat things when we were on the line before. SecurePay1, Linda manages over 1,000 residential commercial real estate units. It's not commercial, but, you know, apartment buildings, etc., single family homes. And
it is commercial too.
Okay, commercial too. Yeah. Sorry. And you know, obviously it's good to, you want to be on real estate related podcasts and things like that, where there are those kinds of listeners that are available. And, you're saying nice things about us, and thank you. But I always tell our clients, after we do what we do, which I think is amazing, and do the book launch and make it a bestseller and then get you media and PR, you have to, our clients, we map out a process. You've got to take it from there, or it slows down, right? I mean, there's a shelf life, and you did it. I mean, and you are continuing to do it, which I just totally love. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what you did and the podcast that you did and what it led to and all that stuff.
Well, I think, I'm going to go back to the book again, because you are discounting, because that really did put you as an expert.
It's amazing, by the way. If you're in real estate, you need to get Linda's book and check it out, because it's awesome.
Well, thank you. But the point is, the book does lend a level of credibility. Years ago, I did a lot of training, and I had to become, for this one training company, a certified technical trainer, because one of these large international actually, technology companies wanted to be sure that each of the trainers wasn't just somebody. So I would say that's kind of, I would use that same analogy to the book. Again, it just makes sure that somebody's stamping that you really do know what you think you know.
Yeah.
And so you're going to take that effort and you're going to get it written. So I think that really did make a big difference. And so the same thing with podcasts. So when we took it from where you left off, we were sending out emails to different RIA groups, different podcasts.
Yeah.
RIA groups are real estate investment associations, smaller groups in different locations. Well, when you send them something that says you have a book, again, that lends itself to, oh, okay, well, she must know something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a whole lot, but she's got it in.
It's a lot. Yeah.
You're right. But
you're the real deal. You're the real deal. They know it from your book.
Yeah, thank you. Right, exactly. Just so it positions you in a better spot. I mean, I honestly, sincerely recommend it to anybody that's, on the fence about it. Like, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Definitely do it.
Yeah.
And so then it gives you that credibility. So we go out to the podcast. And to be quite honest, to be quite frank, I'm not sure what exactly event, let's say, led to this particular one. But we did do, I guess one of the things I make a point of is certain of the RIA groups, when they have more of a, I'll call it a national conference, I would think in those cases, and I don't know this to be true of all of them, but in most of those cases, definitely they need somebody that's, I'll call it a proven expert. And so the book becomes part of your bio when you're submitting why you want to speak at those conferences.
Yep.
So I was able to speak at 2 of those. So I would attribute that. That was back in February and May. That was validated. The book, of course, helped validate that, and other speaking and podcasts. And then, of course, our bigger one then came with this national presence of this Think Realty. That was really what we discussed and why I wanted to call you, because I think it's really important for people to hear that are on the fence.
Yeah. Well, let's map it out, because you just said a lot of different things, and then that'll lead us right into what happened from the speaking event to Think Realty to et cetera. But what you're saying is, you use the book to position yourself as an expert. The past media that you did, which was we helped you with some TV appearances and various things like that. You use that with the book and your expertise to get yourself speaking engagements. And you said it as though it was no big deal, but no, you got major speaking engagements in front of, national associations, which who wouldn't want that, right? I mean, if you're a realtor, wouldn't you want to be in front of, some type of national association where people are all interested in buying homes or investing, or, if you're a, fill in the blank, attorney, doctor, et cetera. Wow, how amazing that is. You got that. You got these podcasts that actually I skipped a step, right? You got podcasts that led to that. Or was it a combination of those things?
Well, I would say a combination. Honestly, Rob, I don't think you can pull apart which one of those, sets it off, if you will.
You did it all.
I think it's integrated. Yes, it's very integrated. It's like that term they use, work-life balance. You have to integrate them. It's not one versus the other, So I do feel it was definitely integrated, the podcast, the going to the association. So it all just becomes part of, I'll call it, for lack of a better word, your resume, right? Your credentials.
Yep.
What have you done that makes you qualified to speak here?
Yeah.
And so it did. And those national ones were a big deal. You know, they definitely were, because then they make the local ones easier, you know.
Right, right. So tell us what happened. So go from there.
So, well, then we had the opportunity to submit ourselves for a property management award that was being offered by a national, this Think Realty publication.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're
what publication? Yeah, let's see the publication.
Yeah, so that was the so this was, oh, I guess I'll start with the front.
Yeah.
So that's Think Realty. And so then we submitted and we became a finalist for the Property Manager of the Year. Okay. Nice. So they did, and we had a couple finalists, and it's submitted. And what's really cool about this particular award is so it's submitted by your clients. We can't submit it ourselves. Your clients have to submit.
Very cool.
And obviously they have to submit in, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but in multitude, right? You can't just get one letter and it's like,
right.
Oh, okay, you're a finalist.
She won.
Yeah, exactly. So that was, I'll call it, kind of important. And then from there, we won.
Yeah, congratulations. You won Property Manager of the Year, National Award. And you sent me the magazine. You have it too. There it is. You got a full page spread, right? There it is right there. There's Linda. So not a full page, but you got a full spread in their national magazine, right?
Absolutely. It's actually 3 pages if you turn the page.
Nice. Sorry, didn't look at it. And this is these are national magazines that are they're a monthly magazine that go out to thousands and thousands of subscribers all over the country that are real estate investors.
Exactly.
Like your ideal client. That's the people that are reading
this
magazine. It says Think Realty, the magazine for real estate investors, and you are the Property Manager of the Year. Let's see the hardware.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Is that
cool? It
cool?
Was beautiful. It was just so beautiful. It was really so exciting, honestly. If they didn't allow us to give a speech, thank goodness. I might have went on and on. I'm sure you would have got mentioned. But, you know.
That's great. Thank you.
I've been in business, though, just so people understand, too. I've been in business 8 years. And as I'll call it, as excited as I am here today, there's, 24-hour days that match this, right? I mean, it wasn't just walking on a stage, and it's a lot of hard work. And so then to finally be escalated that, oh, yeah, she does know, So for some people, maybe they could pull that off in 24 months. But, I was probably more humble by nature and still am. I mean, I don't say was, I am. But these things help you realize you really do have something to offer, and that's sometimes tough, and I think that anybody that's listening would benefit. And just so you know, to go with this spread thing, so I was selected, though, to be a coach for them.
Right.
So that's really of significance, I think, to me, because that really is, to me, almost, while this hardware is really pretty, it's going to sit on a shelf, right? And nobody, unless you keep mentioning it, and, in 2020, nobody's going to want to hear about what you won in 2017, right? So the first thing is more of that ongoing issue that will allow me the opportunity to continue to grow, continue to learn. Like I just was able to give a talk to their leadership circle about technology, because we work with so many different technologies, and just how it's all changing, with the advent of AI and everything. So who knows? There might be another book there around.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's talk about Think Realty for just a second, because you mentioned something that's important, I think, and you didn't mention something that's important. You also became a contributing author to their magazine, which means now every single month you are going to have an article in here. Yeah. Besides being the Property Manager of the Year, besides being an international best-selling author, you are going to be a content creator every single month in their magazine, which is going to give you free publicity on an ongoing basis. And you mentioned they made you a coach. Now, you and I, we mapped out a little plan together that I think this whole, I mean, if you got 10 new clients a month with the plan that we mapped out for coaching, that's going to add $500,000 a year to your bottom line by an entirely new flow of income and opportunity into your business. I just think, bravo. I mean, how amazing that
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. And I do have to mention something, just because I think it's important, again, to to Bestseller Publishing, is I submitted to be a contributor to Think Realty around the time that we released the book.
Wow.
So I
Good
was
timing.
contributing on a smaller basis. So that was already getting them, let's say, the attention of who I was.
Yes.
And then I saw that award, and then we reached, so there was just multiple, I'll say, opportunities to let this snowball the way it was. And honestly, when you're an entrepreneur and you're so focused on the day-to-day, I'm sure there's so many more like this that that don't even realize that. So we have reached out. We have already had 2 places reach out to us to say, would you write for us? And actually, I don't know if you're aware of this, I just got accepted this week too for the Forbes Real Estate Council to be a contributing editor for them. Contributing writer for them. Did I say editor?
To Forbes? That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's
so awesome.
So we are excited. So we are definitely trying to make positive steps in the right direction. We're trying to follow your lead. You've talked about webinars and classes, and that's really the next thing. We have been doing more of an interview style webinar as opposed to a teaching style, but it's still, at least it's out there on a regular basis. And so now we'd like to switch into, in our case, we're thinking what would be really helpful is to switch into other people that want to set up their own business and start doing kind of a train the trainer. So that they understand how to set up a property management company and be efficient and all that.
Oh, that's smart. That's really, really smart. We'll have to map out a whole nother business, $1 million business for you around that. The cool thing when you start doing all of what you're doing, and like I like to tell my clients, that with a traditional publisher, the book is the end of the story, right? Pun intended. But for those of us that are entrepreneurs, and obviously what we hope to do and what we map out to do at Bestseller Publishing is the book is the beginning of the story. It's book to massive number of sales and downloads to podcasts and blogs and TV appearances and then speaking engagements and then contributing authorship, which all of that brings in clients at the same time. I know you've been getting more and more clients, than ever before, and opportunities to coach people that I mean, when we first met, you never, that wasn't even on the radar, right?
No, right. We definitely talked about how could I gain some recognition so that now if I get this book, exactly how could we map out a plan?
Yeah.
So yes, because I needed the recognition because, the world, and you tried to probably tell me this more than I saw it, the world is a really big place. And if you're and I went to a lot of meetings, I mean, it's not like I spent that 8 years without effort. So, I mean, I was at all kinds of meetings, but still that's, what kind of radius is that? How many people can you reach one by one by one? You're just not going to do it. You just need some things like your book and, and then, like you said, going out to the interviews, it just all became necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations, Linda. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. Just when we first met, I love your spirit and your heart, and we just totally connected, which is cool. I'm very, very fortunate in my business to work with really great people like yourself. So I'm honored to have played a small part in all of this and our team. And so, just love all that you're doing.
Oh, you did. You played a big part, and like I said, even your follow-up calls and listening to other people, and you learn through all of that. And I think it's really important.
Yeah.
You guys do a great job. You really do.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess in summation, if you're listening, you can learn more about Linda at securepay1.com, obviously bestsellerpublishing.org. But look, it's your book. This is your positioning tool. This is where it begins. But that's where it begins. It needs to be led to what we call publish, promote, profit. Promotion is getting the book purchased and thousands of real downloads. And then the profit is through speaking, through real PR, and then all of that generates leads and opportunities. And sometimes, as we said, the opportunities can lead to things like, you know, national publications, national speaking events, even hold that thing up again, even national awards, right?
Yeah.
And then that has led to entirely new income streams where you're training, you're coaching, you're, you know, the new businesses, all because of the opportunity that's now flooding in because of your positioning. So if you're listening, that's what you need. Do what Linda did, and you will in turn get what Linda got. I mean, that's success leaves footprints, as has been said. So thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to share this, because I really think I would have liked to hear it when I was trying to decide, you know, what should I do? It's an investment in yourself, and you definitely want to do it.
Well, I hope this helps a lot of people, and thank you for taking the time to share it. So I'll go ahead and sign off. And thanks again, Linda. You're awesome.
Thank you.